Hey guys, welcome to the 12th episode of this Planet Coast series. In this episode I will be mostly focusing on the area towards the next themed area of the park, like the forest area. And as you can see now, I'm mostly doing some terraforming around this entrance. I made this mountain over the pathway and underneath is a tunnel. And when you go through the tunnel you will enter the forest area of the park. Because you cannot terraform so close to the pathway, I chose to build a pillar out of rocks right next to the pathway to make the entrance of the cave a little bit more diverse, because you can simply make a tunnel and then you will have like this very straight, very open tunnel, and I like it more when you like close it off a little bit with some extra details. That's why I built this pillar. And I'm adding some bushes around these pillars to make sure when you enter the forest that you actually see some foliage around. Above the tunnel I made this ridge, and on the ridge will be some trees and stuff, but I made that ridge so I had a reason to place some bushes over there and some trees, because I don't really like it when trees are on a slope, so to speak. It is very well possible, but when the slope is too steep it just looks a little bit weird. So most of the time I use these small flat areas to place some trees on, and of course I will place trees on slopes and stuff, but these flat areas give me some more opportunity to create a more diverse terrain. So on this side I'm placing some taller trees, so when you enter the forest you won't see the buildings in the back. And I'm lowering my camera to make sure I use enough bushes and trees to fill up all the empty areas when you're looking towards the trees. So I'm just filling up the gaps behind it, and as you can see I'm trying to see if I can still see the buildings from this angle. And just fill the ridge up with bushes, and this way I'm trying to maximize the density of the field of view, so to speak, but minimize the amount of trees and bushes I'm using. But this area will be very heavy on the bushes and trees and stuff. Over here I placed these bushes upside down to make it look like they are draping downwards. You can use the climbing plants as well, but I don't really like those because they are flat-ish. And you have these draping seaweed objects, which I don't like either, because we're in the middle of the forest. What is seaweed doing in the middle of the forest? That would be kind of weird. So on the other side of this entrance I'm placing more bushes around to fill it up as well. It's pretty simple. I'm just placing tree after tree and add some bushes around the base of the trees, and sometimes a few trees in the middle of nowhere are separate. And if I'm sure a particular place is out of sight, then I won't be placing too many bushes on the floor over there, because that would just increase my total object count and decrease the performance of my game, and it doesn't have any influence on the overall look of the area anyway. So over here I was trying to build some sort of supports inside the tunnel to like support the ceiling, and I wasn't really sure how I was supposed to do that, so I just used these wooden beams and try to make some sort of supports. And these wooden beams can then be used to hang lanterns on, for example. I'm not really happy with the final results of this, but it does the job, I guess. I'm just copying this one piece over, and I had like 4 or 5 of these structures, and they were still too low, so I decided to extend these poles and raise them up a little bit. I lowered the ceiling, so to speak, as much as I could, and then that was about it. I'm just placing some more trees over here, and then I'll be finishing up the boulevard with the last building. The building I'm making is not going to be finished in this episode. I kind of ran out of ideas while I was building and decided to continue another time. So this will be finished in the next episode. In this corner I'm making like a small planter with a tree and some bushes in it. But first I wanted to have the corners look nice, because it's like the corner of this crossing, and that's why I wanted to have it look a little bit better than average. I'm using these blocks to like make cornerstones of these walls, and decided to add some trees and bushes inside it afterwards. I wanted to have lights on the wall, but I decided not to place them, because I already have some lanterns around and it's just unnecessary. I'm using these wooden beams again to make like a edge on the top of the walls, and then that planter is kind of finished. And I wasn't really sure what house to build here, but I knew I wanted it to be quite a big house. And as you can see, I used 3 separate buildings to create like one larger building. And they're basically 2 blocks with like a corridor in the middle. That's basically the layout of the building. Besides that, I was really out of ideas to do the detailing in this episode, so I decided to just make a shop in the back, and this is a balloon shop, if I'm right. This way people will walk around the planter, and it just gives the area a nice little extra touch. So that was it for this episode. I will switch to the live part in a bit. Let's go over what we've built in this episode. I started off with the entrance area to the forest. I basically made a lot of trees on a mountain, but if you enter the forest area it will be through this tunnel over here, and you can see the lamps hanging on the beams to have some light inside the tunnel. I really like how this pillar here is creating some more diversion in the area. I don't know, I'm not really sure how to call it. You will enter the forest, and at the moment it's pretty empty, but you can imagine when you're coming out of the tunnel and you're looking around and you see a shitload of trees. That would be a pretty awesome effect. So that's the general idea of this area, and it turned out pretty nice in my opinion. I really like these plants I placed upside down over here as well. It really gives a nice look. I could use some more rocks to add some more details on this ridge, for example. I'm not really sure, but I can do that later. For now I'm not really sure what to build over here, so for now this will be empty for quite a while. If you have any suggestions, please tell me, because I'm really kind of clueless. At the moment I'm planning to build a wooden roller coaster in a western area I'm building later, so that's a suggestion that's out of the question, but besides of that you can leave anything in the comments. The second thing I built in this episode was the start of this building. It's not really finished, but I made this planter on the corner over here, and it turned out pretty nice. It's simple, but it's nice, and it serves its purpose, like filling up the area with some scenery. So at this crossroads you have this nice planter with some trees on the corner, and it looks pretty nice. This building, I like the design, but as I said, I'm kind of out of ideas how to turn it into something better, so I'm just taking a small break and leave this for the next episode. I did add a balloon shop in the back over here. It looks nice. It's kind of tucked away, but still gives a little bit more purpose to the building than just being a scenery building. Yeah, that's about it for this episode. I had this weird bug with the texture of the pots. I just wanted to show you guys. It's not much interesting, but that's it. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, you can subscribe to my channel. If you have any suggestions, you can leave it in the comments below, because I'm reading them all, so don't worry. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode. See ya!